Godwin Emiefele is in trouble. Did you know that he ran away from court today? He took to his heels from the courts. People were trying to hold him. People were trying to take, he ran away. He even fainted in court. I will give you that update after the most important thing today. The judiciary have been warned. The judiciary have been given a very, very stern warning. This is Nation's Voice Tower, your most preferred YouTube channel. How have we been? We over here, as for us, we're doing just okay. I have few updates. My name is Angelo, your uncle, as usual. Now, the truth is, we have not less than 15 days or 14 days to the closure of the 180 days for the tribunal to give their final judgment. Now, lots of things are happening. We've been hearing a lot of things. Lots of them are true. Judges are trying to be compromised. Judges are being threatened. Judges are being intimidated. Letters are sent to their houses. Their families are being called out and so on, from people in the high places to make them submerge justice. But justice must take its full course. Heavens will not fall. There will not be chaos if justice is upheld. All right. Now, this my update is coming from a particular group. This group, because we have not less than 14 days to the closure for the tribunal to give their judgment, this group have come out to talk to the judges involved in the presidential elections petitions tribunal. What are they saying? They are telling these judges, please don't listen to any politician. Don't collect any money. Even those of you that have collected, please return these monies. And they have told these judges, do all you have to do in order not to submerge justice. Nigeria is on course for a new Nigeria. Let us listen to this group. Let us watch them. Headed by Professor Pat Utomi, you will know that it's a very, very strong group. This group have come out to give warnings to the judges that are involved in the tribunal. So let's listen to what they told the judges and let's hear the reactions of those judges, if possible. Stay tuned.
This is why our prayers today include a call for impartiality, justice, and accountability from the Honorable Justices of the Presidential Elections Petition Tribunal. I mean, we all know how a certain pervasive feeling that justice doesn't happen in Nigeria has led to many people feeling despondent, but we want today to challenge that disposition. As representatives of Catholics in politics, industrialists, and the entire laity of the Catholic Church, we are here to remind the Honorable Justices that all eyes are on the judiciary and that the nation eagerly awaits their judgment on the presidential elections petitions that are before them. We implore the Honorable Justices to consider their role as safeguarding our democracy and to ensure that the verdict is not tainted by any external influences or personal biases. We emphasize the need for justice to prevail without fear or favor, guided solely by the principles of fairness and truth. We unequivocally state that Nigerians expect justice to be served in a manner that reflects the will of the people, and that the Honorable Justices should acknowledge the weight of their responsibilities and understand that their decision will shape the course of our nation's future. We also firmly believe that there won't be anarchy and heaven will not fall when a just and transparent judgment is served. In fact, the contrary is the case. The thing that will push us into anarchy is for injustice to prevail. And we have the prophets Amos and the history of the Jewish people to remind us of that. And so we strongly condemn in any form threats against the Honorable Justices in an attempt to influence judgment. And we want to send a clear message to politicians that no amount of threats or intimidations will weaken but no amount of threats or intimidation will weaken the determination of Nigerians across ethnic and religious backgrounds who are united in their pursuit of a new Nigeria. Because that's something that is a matter of desperation, a new Nigeria. We urge our politicians to respect the integrity and independence of the judiciary and allow justice to be served without intervention. And we urge the honorable justices to recognize the historical significance of their decision as a fair and just judgment will emancipate Nigeria from its present hardships and burden of bad fiscal and monetary policies. We strongly condemn the holiday prayers in monetary values sent by the Senate President to the inbox of federal legislators. In a country where millions of our fellow citizens struggle to provide basic necessities for their families, it is distressing to witness our representatives indulging in such extravagant practices.
Yes, you watched Professor Pat Utomi there. This man has been a straightforward man over time in Nigeria. We've had little or nothing about him that has made him or being called out or has painted or dented his image over time. So we can say that he stands for peace, tranquility, and honor, dignity inclusive. So I think that is all said and done. He is heading the National Laity Council of the Catholic Church. So they have come out to admonish the judges. Lots of things are happening. We have Justice Haruna Samani and his cohorts, Justice Ugu, and so on and so forth. These people have been compromised, according to what we've been hearing. They've been approached by these politicians. They've been approached to collect some money. They've been approached via intimidations. They've been touched. Their families have been called upon. So let us hope that it doesn't affect justice being submerged. Because if it does, I don't know what Nigeria is going to become. I don't know what people in Nigeria would be or will turn out to. Because if it affects people in Nigeria, it affects those of us in diaspora too. So we have to understand the fact that we have to put all hands on deck, not only to this group, but to everybody in Nigeria and outside Nigeria. We here are trying to make everything possible to happen. So we put hands on deck, we join hands and make sure that the tribunal gets it straight that there should be no submergence of justice by any way possible. That is that on that particular update. Now I have something quite different, something talking about the judiciary. Aside that, I would briefly call our viewers, please like our videos, share them. Don't forget to drop a comment for us in the comment section. And don't also forget to watch till the end. Tap the subscribe button and don't also forget to tap the notification bell. These things are very important to us. That is why I'm telling you not to forget. So, secondly, there are news reaching us from our sources that 2 of the judges have been compromised to a high degree. So since they have been compromised, we are looking at a situation where maybe the other 3 have not been compromised. Who knows? But these 2 judges that have been compromised, their names have not been brought to us. So we hope and we wish that those that have not been compromised yet should talk to them and make them see or look over their shoulders so that justice will be upheld. Now, let's go to Niger Republic. I have one Mrs. Arikana Kwao. This woman is a very, very dogged woman in Africa, and she has come out to call on the Economic Community of West African States and its military intervention and invasion and its plan to invade Niger. Now, she has spoken very generally, and she has said, let's look at this. If coups were to be tackled in Africa, she has no issues with that. But we should tackle poverty, insecurity. We should tackle child mortality. We should tackle maternal mortality. We should tackle lots of heinous occurrences that are bothering to poor countries in Africa. These things would, hand in hand, complement the coup that is being tackled. Not to carry some soldiers and go into Niger Republic to fight and cause more loss of lives. Listen to this very straightforward woman while she makes her comments very, very public. She was fearless. That's one thing that drew my attention to this video. She was fearless, very courageous, and she made sure that she made her point to Bola Tinubu and the ECOWAS group. Stay tuned.
I don't think it's a good option. And I would want to ask the same people who are sitting at the table having those discussions about having a military intervention in Niger. Let me remind you that there are other coups that we are not talking about, that we should be talking about. By France forcing Niger to send all its natural resources to France, that's a coup. By France having its own military in Niger and forcing Nigerians that you can only be trained by France, that is a coup. By forcing Niger to deposit 50% of its reserves with France, that is a coup. The question I have for those who are sitting on the table, during those ECOWAS meetings, during those AU peace and security meetings, what have you done about those coups? Take those 3 coups, multiply by 14, because that's what's happening in the 14 former French colonies. Those are deadly coups that have been taking place for decades, and you ECOWAS have done nothing about those coups. I need them to also answer and give us remedy as to how they are going to handle those coups. Make no mistake about it. Those are coups against the African citizens in those countries. And while they discuss what they would like to do with Niger, I would also want them to table those coups and come up with a solution as to what needs to be done. Because behind those coups that I just described from France, there are millions of children who are dying from starvation. There are millions of children who are going to bed with an empty stomach. There are millions of African youth who are unemployed. There are millions of women who are dying while giving birth to another life. I need them to put that on the table as well. If their interests are truly about the Africans, let's look at the global view of the issue. Let's have a bird's eye view of the issue and have a frank and fair and honest discussion about what is really going on in Africa. I do know that I don't think the carnage that's going on in Africa is what ECOWAS is all about. Leadership is about the people. It's about creating a better life for the people. But if you're going to allow one who has committed egregious crimes in Africa continues to have coups, those are coups. Let's call a spade a spade. You can't give France a pass. So also let us know what you intend to do about those ongoing economic and political coups that are being imposed on those 14 French countries, former French colonies by France. So to just talk about what's happening in Niger alone, in isolation, and not go to the root causes of the genesis of why what's happening is happening, that simply does not make any sense.
All right, you've watched the video there, and I will say outrightly that there is nothing that that woman did not say. That's just the truth about it. She said everything that needed to be said, and she did not hold anything back. Now, for the sake of records, I would love to say that whoever is involved in this defense, ECOWAS defense offices kind of thing, should please detest from planning to even take troops anywhere. Even though the head of the ECOWAS have said it, please, these people should be able to take advices from their officers of defense, because if you don't do so, there will be issues. Niger Republic is highly dependent on Nigeria as well as other countries. We are not yet ready for a sort of enmity between Niger Republic and any other neighboring or sister countries. Now, I told you I will tell you something very important. Godwin Emiefele is in trouble. Godwin Emiefele is in deep trouble. Do you know that he fainted in court today? Yes, Godwin Emiefele fainted in court today. And I would like to tell you that today again he ran away from court, as I told you in the beginning of this video. So I would allow you to watch the video so you will see how he ran away from court, and you will have his counsel address newsmen, so you will know what is being said about him. For the records, the possession of firearms charge against him has been dropped. That means the court found no merit in that particular case. After watching how he ran away from court, you listen to Barrister Akinolu Timothy Kehinde, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, counsel to Godwin Emiefele, speak to newsmen and tell us the real deal and the real issues on ground. Stay tuned.
Don't push, don't push. No, no, no. Stop it, now.
Now, the matter was meant for arraignment this morning, but two things played out, which clearly showed that the complainant itself was not ready for the arraignment. The second defendant was not made available. The second defendant was not in court. And it is right that all the defendants in a charge must be present to take their plea. And consequently, the complainant on its own requested for an adjournment for the arraignment to be done at a later date. And so we didn't oppose that application. The arraignment will now come up on Wednesday, 23rd of this month, Wednesday 23rd. That's exactly what happened. Yes, all the defendants were not available in court this morning. And as a consequence, the arraignment couldn't go on.
It's up to an adjournment.
But you are ready to defend your client?
Of course, that's why we are here. We are ready. Don't forget that his presumption of innocence stands until any pronouncement is made by the court of law. He's presumed innocent. We are ready. Whenever we are called upon, we'll be there for him. Unfortunately, we are yet to see those charges. We've been served, but we are yet to read it. Our client was served late last night, and you'll agree with us that there's no way between last night and this morning that we'll have digested the charge. So we'll go through it and give the appropriate advice to our clients. Yes, thank you so much.
All right, you've watched the video there. From what the counsel said, that means they were just served a court injunction last night. They don't even know what Emiefele has done. Well, Godwin Emiefele has done lots of things. So let us keep our fingers crossed and watch the next court session. Maybe they may bring more charges that we know of or that are familiar to us, other than the recent one that says he actually sponsored terrorism and illegal possession of firearms. Yes, that is that on those updates. I hope you enjoyed our time together. From our table here, we would love to draw the curtain. See you next time. Bye.